Hello everyone, it's Margaret here with 60andMe. Thank you for joining me today on this journey and this conversation about emotional eating. I know it's something that a lot of you are dealing with, and I want to just have a chat out though about the use of that word emotional when we're talking about eating. One of our bloggers, Robin Ola, wrote this article and put it in a way that really made sense to me, and I just wanted to share with you my thoughts on this. We say emotional eating a lot. It's part of our personality. It's like, yeah, I'm just an emotional eater. I eat, because the assumption then is the following sentence is, I eat when I'm emotional. And that is, in Robin's opinion, and I actually kind of get it. I understand that, it's a different twist here, is that it's not because we're eating because we're emotional, but it's because we're hiding an emotion. We're repressing an emotion. And there's some element of, sort of holding back that's actually causing us to feel like we need to eat when we're trying to numb emotion. And that's really an important distinction. And what do you think about that? Do you think that's accurate, or does it ring a bell with you? Sit with that for just a second and make sure that you understand it, because I think the conversation we're going to have is, how do you avoid emotional eating if you don't consider it part of your personality, that it's not something that you were born with or that you've established or that you've developed over the years. You don't eat because you are stressed. You eat because you want to lessen the emotion of stress. That's really an important one. You don't eat because you feel frustrated. You feel that you eat because it temporarily gets rid of it. It gets rid of the feeling of frustration. So rather than feel the stress, we eat to get rid of it. Rather than to feel the frustration, we eat to minimize it. And if we can learn how to minimize the cause of the emotion rather than the actual eating, then maybe we've got a solution or an answer to the question. So first step is of emotional avoidance eating, she calls it. So first of all is to acknowledge your feelings. Children are taught to suppress certain feelings, like don't cry or don't, or to calm down. We tell them to calm down because being emotional is a bad thing. We avoid it. And it's not a bad thing. And that's the kind of whole beauty of getting older and understanding that, being emotional is okay. It's okay. Do you cry more now? I'm just actually really hot right now, and I'm just looking to sort of get rid of the heat. Is it warm where you are? Oh my goodness, it's really warm here. Anywho, children are, as I said, are like told to not to cry, not to feel their emotions. But being emotional is not a bad thing. And I think as I mentioned, when now I cry more than I used to. Silly things, I can be out in public and just look at a child or someone going through something or some experience and just burst into tears. Not always like sobbing, but in my heart. And I really, truly understand that the value now of feeling emotion. It feels good. It feels better to get that emotion out in the open and to live it than to try to repress it. So there's nothing wrong with eating because you are trying to deal with an emotion. But if you get to the emotion and try to understand why you're trying to repress it or why you're trying to hold it back, you'll then see what there's not the need to eat to help with it, if you understand. So do you ever check in with yourself and just see how you're feeling? Just what are the things that are stressing you out? What are the things that are on your mind? That's, I think, really, really important. So where do emotions come from? Well, we create them with our mind. With our thinking. It's not always obvious, but it's true. We have power over our thoughts. The brain is an amazing thing, but we can trick it. We can trick it into being happy by doing certain things or even saying certain things. They've done this research where, if you're going into a situation where you're stressful, just tricking your brain by taking a position or chanting a mantra or having some kind of ritual that you perform can actually trick your brain into thinking that you're totally happy and no problem. You're not afraid. No stress at all. And the brain is amazing. So our brain is just doing the job that we're giving it to do. So when we have a feeling, it's because we've created that feeling with our brain. So if we can get ahead of that feeling, understand the reasons or the whys or the, what we can do to deal with that initial feeling, we will then not have this need to repress the emotion. So does this make any sense to you? I actually really, really found it valuable when I was thinking about my own eating habits because, let's do some honesty stuff here. Whenever I have to deal with money, I eat. I always cannot stop grabbing some cookies or certainly a cup of tea. That's in England the be all end all soothing of all emotions. But I always eat more than I should when I'm dealing with money. If I've got a money issue that I'm, something that I'm trying to deal with, or something that I'm, even paying my bills, even just sitting down on the computer and paying bills, it brings out an emotion of, well, what? I mean, when I was a child, we didn't have any money. I know you can relate to this. We were very poor, and we didn't have the luxuries that I maybe wanted, or that I had a desire for. And I always had an insecurity around money, a sense of that, I was missing something, or a sense of loss. And so when I sit down to pay my bills, I always see money going out. And it's a memory from my childhood. It's a feeling of fear, of not having any money. And even if I even have money in my account and I can pay the bills and it's not a problem, I still am eating, not emotionally. I'm not eating with emotion, but I'm eating to repress an emotion of sadness or fear or hesitation about the future. And it also works the other way too. I stay with money for a bit, just because it's probably a cause of stress for many of you. It's the other, also it's the situation where you have money now, but you feel guilty because you didn't either have it when you needed it with your children, or you didn't have it, at some other point, or that there's so many people in the world who need help and need money, and you've got it, and it's like you're guilty. So you eat to hide that emotion of guilt. So you feel guilty about eating. It's not the emotion of guilt. It's the feeling of guilt. So it's really an important distinction. I don't know whether this helps or not, but it certainly helped me when I was reading the article. You should just go check it out and read it. So we have power over our emotions because we create the thoughts. We create the thoughts with our mind, and we can get rid of that by doing sort of meditation activities. We can do it by being aware. I mean, just a simple awareness for me. To this day, though, I still cannot sit down and do bills and take care of money issues without feeling anxious. I now have some techniques, maybe you've got some too, where I make a cup of tea and one biscuit. I allow myself one biscuit, knowing, I even say it to myself, okay, you're going to do this work now with this money issue, and you're going to be stressed, and that's going to make you want to eat, to negate that emotion of stress. And I just have one cookie, and I took my other thing I do is I go for a walk. I have found that getting active, physically active, moving around, can actually just help me to see things in a more grateful way. And that's the third thing, is a gratitude list. The moment that you start feeling like you are unhappy about something, or stressed about something, frustrated about something, just sit down for 5 minutes and do a gratitude chant. I actually do it out loud. I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for being here to breathe and be on this planet. I am grateful for my community at 60andMe. I'm grateful for my family, of course, and my grandkids and my friends that are close by my side. I am grateful for, for my intelligence and for my mind and for my health, thank goodness, and touch wood. Really, it's just all those simple techniques that you can use. So gratitude list, going for a walk, finding ways to talk yourself out of an emotion. What's another reason that you eat? When you might say you're emotionally eating, makes you feel good. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure thing. And, we're totally always focused on pleasure over pain, right? So if we've got something going on that's painful in our lives, go for the pleasure. Don't hang around in the painful place. Why would you want to do that? Just eat. That'll make you feel much better. Of course it doesn't. So if you consider yourself an emotional eater, does this make any distinction when you think about the emotion that you're trying to repress as an inspiration for eating, rather than the emotional eating itself? I hope that was useful. As I'm describing it, it sounds confusing, but it's actually a very good distinction, and I found it useful myself. But anyway, I hope that you're doing great with whatever your choice of eating habits are. What are the stresses that cause you to eat more than others? Have a really good day, everybody. Try to put some of this into practice and leave your comments in the section below. I'd love to share with all the other women in our community. Please come and join our Patreon group if you haven't already. I'm promoting it at the moment because I'm seeing what is happening. Women are getting together all around the world. It's a place where we can talk to each other about things like emotional eating, things like, things that are, our personal style, things that are all personal, not things that are, generic, like travel tips 101. So anyway, patreon.com, 60andme, our supporters group. We'd love to have you there. And of course, if you don't want to do that, no problem. Just please like the video, subscribe if you can, ring that notification bell. I do 4 videos every week. I'm also doing YouTube shorts every day now, which is like just 1 minute random things of fun. And also I'm on Instagram, even on TikTok. You can find 60andMe everywhere now. And we love it because we want to reach women everywhere. So have a fabulous day, everybody. Take really good care. Sending you lots and lots of love. Bye for now.